And so we've found that some networks of the brain sort information in memory according to who was there. So I might have, like, we've actually shown in one of my favorite studies of all time that was done by a former postdoc, Zach Rea. And Zach did the study where we had a bunch of movies with different people in my labs. There are two different people, and he filmed them at two different cafes and two different supermarkets. And what you could show is in one particular network, you could find the same kind of pattern of activity, more or less, a very, very similar pattern of activity every time I saw Alex in one of these movies, no matter where he was, right? And I could see another one that was like a common pattern that happened every time I saw this particular supermarket nugget, And so, and it didn't matter whether you're watching a movie or whether you're recalling the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same kind of pattern that comes up, right?
That's so
It was
fascinating.
fascinating. And so now you have those building blocks for assembling a model of what's happening in the present, imagining what could happen, and remembering things very economically from putting together all these pieces, so that all the hippocampus has to do is get the right kind of blueprint for how to put together all these building blocks.
These are all like beautiful hints at a super interesting system that makes me wonder on the other side of it how to build it. But it's like, it's fascinating. Like the way it does the encoding is really, really fascinating. Or I guess the symptoms, the results of that encoding are fascinating to study from this. Just as a small tangent, you mentioned sort of the measuring local potentials with electrodes versus fMRI.
Oh yeah.
What are some interesting limitations, possibilities of fMRI? Maybe the way you explained it is like brilliant with blood and it's detecting um, the activations or the excitation because blood flows to that area. What's like the latency of that? Like, what's the blood dynamics in the brain that,
Yeah, yeah.
like, how quickly can the task change and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it's very slow to the brain.